Welcome. If the setup looks a bit different, it is because I don't know which side to cover. My roommate's very untidy. I have a new setup ish. You can see the light. What you were sitting on before was a stack of books, and I put all those books away. So there's no more stack of books for you to sit on. So now I'm using my tripod that is a bit broken. But we move because I'm broke, okay? I'm a broke 20-year-old girl and I don't have money to buy a new tripod. The light still works, but it's a bit faulty. We gotta deal with it for now. So today's video is gonna be my November wrap up, all the books that I read in November and what I thought about them, what they're about. Stay tuned if this is something you would want to watch. Okay, so I read about what am I saying? I'm not that fast already. I read about 5 books. No, on the dot I read 5, well, more like 4 and 3/4, because I didn't finish one of them. I DNF'd one of my books. I don't like doing that. Normally what I would do is kind of force myself to finish the book, but it was too much for me. I needed to take a break. So we're gonna start from the first book that I finished in November. You already saw what the first book was. The Eternal Shadow by Shamiz Patel Papatunisiao. I took this on holiday, intending to finish it in October so that I could complete the second book that I took with me, which was, I think it's called Hex. Hold on. Yep, it's called Hex Appeal. It's on my chair behind me. Because that is my December TBR that my mother chose for me, so it's one of the books that I need to finish. This book was sent to me by Shamiz. I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I was so happy when I got this because I'm gonna keep using the word. So I was incredibly excited. Let's use new adjectives. Incredibly excited to see what happens in this book, because when I finished the first book, I immediately wanted to go into the second book. And when I found out that the second book was coming out in April, I was like, oh my god, I want my hands on it. I wrote it down as one of the books that I wanted for my birthday, but my parents don't want books for my birthday. Some unforeseen circumstances happened in my family, so that didn't happen. But I've been raving about this ever since it came out, and she was kind enough to send me the second book as well, because she also sent me the first book, which I thought was so cool. Oh my god. I don't know exactly what I rated this, so I'm gonna put the rating on the screen somewhere. The second book is basically did I just zone out? The second book is about Cassia. She finds herself back in the realm of Celine, and basically the entire group is trying to find a way to defeat the king, but there aren't any allies in the Celine realm, so they travel to another realm called Vianus, where they come across this dark shadow monster creature that basically sucks people's magic out of them and keeps it for themselves. And she kind of encounters this monster creature shadow thing, and she has to fight through whatever's happening in it. And you know what, as much as there's definitely a plot, right? The romance is the subplot of this book, but I was loving for the romance, okay, because I'm a sucker for love. I literally annotated this book so much. It's not even a joke. I haven't annotated a book like this, like in this format before, ever in my life, and I had the best time reading this book. So I'm just saying, if you guys are looking for an underrated romantasy or fantasy romance, this she is the person to go to. The first book is called The Last Feather. This is called The Eternal Shadow. A South African Muslim female author. This is everything you want. I'm just saying, if you are a fan of like ACOTAR, this is it, because I read ACOTAR first, and this is just, it's so good that I might like this more. That's a big statement, but I might like this more. The next book I read was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Now, I read Icebreaker in, I think, April or May of this year, or March, April. I don't know which one, but I read it as a buddy read with a group of book girlies, and I absolutely loved Icebreaker. Now, I absolutely loved this book too. I'm gonna put the rating up on the screen. Oh my god, he is, I want to keep him close to my heart. He is my everything. Ras is just this super, he seems so fluffy, but once you get to the spicy scenes, he is just, oh man, gruff, man. Like the things that he whispers in her ear and the stuff that he says when they are, you know, intimate with each other. Oh my god, it is something else. Okay, see, the other thing is, obviously with reading Icebreaker, Ras was a side character, right? So it took me a while for me to find, for like my brain to alter and be like, oh, this book is actually about Ras. He's not a side character anymore, you know, because it just felt like he got like one POV, and I was like, man, what is going on? But obviously as it went on, my brain was like, oh, got it, Quran, cool. Yeah, so basically this takes place at a summer camp, and they are both counselors, but there's a rule that the camp has where there's no fraternizing with staff members, so they obviously need to sneak around, and that's, I think, the most exciting thing about this book. The fact that no one can know about it except his roommate and her best friend that they are working with. So yeah, also the little dogs in here was called Fish, and then Fish's children is Salmon and Trout, or is it? I think it's around there. I know Salmon is definitely one of them, but it's just, it's so cute. I think they're golden retrievers, I can't remember. Listen, I'm not a big dog fan. I'm more of a cat person. I have my cat sitting behind my camera. He's blonde. You're not gonna understand it, I show you, but it's just search light ginger, you'll come up with a blonde cat, literally. And he has his blonde moments also. But this book was just top tier for me. I think I rated this 5 stars. And then next we had Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This wasn't my favorite book that I've ever read. I know I always, like, at the end of a book I'm like, oh my god, like, it was so good. The first 180 something pages were boring. Did I just spit? Ew. It was boring. Like, they only spoke about them kissing on page 186, and then the last pages after that were like good-ish, but I mean the first few pages, it just felt like it was dragging on. So this is basically Phoebe Walsh, where she has to move back to the town that she grew up in, and she has to sort out her father's stuff and get the house ready for getting on the market again. So when she moves back into the house, her neighbor that used to live opposite her dad is now living opposite her, but because of his weirdish behavior, she thinks that he's a serial killer. And with that, she's also a true crime fan. She's writing, I think, a thesis or something on true crime, so it also deals with like that and stuff. And they end up having a fling. She moves back home after the summer, and she realizes her life is incomplete without Sam. So she goes back, tells him she loves him, and live happily ever after. I will put my rating up on here because honestly it took a while for me to finally get into this book. I thought it was gonna be like this massive breakthrough or stuff, but that's just not it. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. This has got to be one of the most disappointing book talk books I've ever read. which is sad, but it's true. Sorry. And now we have Magnolia Parks. I am so disappointed that I didn't finish this. This is a book that I DNF'd. I got, I think, about 150 pages left. I'm on page 294 and it ends on page 422. So I don't know how to do math, so I don't know how many pages that is, but I got more than halfway through. It's just a little section that I needed to finish. This is just too toxic for me. You see, I think about 100 pages and I was like, is there even a plot to this book? Because I don't see one. And I was like, is it more of like a day-to-day thing? Like a day-to-day life story of their life, you know? Story of my life. Let's say go home. Okay. I don't know. I didn't connect with it. Really, I didn't. I really had to like disconnect because it was too much toxicity for me. And to be honest, it's worse than Chuck and Play, except he didn't solve a hotel, so maybe not. But he did keep bringing up the fact that he slept with other people. Like, no offense, but you don't need to tell her that. She doesn't need to know. It's already out there because the entire world is seeing it, you know, and you like hooking up with other girls, but you don't need to tell her on top of that. It's just the audacity that he had to bring it up all the time. Like the first page is like, she was wearing something and he's like, oh, where's that from? And she's like, oh, it's from Miu Miu. I slept with the Miu Miu model once. It's reminding me of that SpongeBob meme.
I lost something once.
I don't know. But I mean, it's too much. I'm at the part, okay, if you haven't read Magnolia Parks, you don't want to be spoiled, turn away. I'm at the part where they kind of had a steamy session in a Gucci changing room, and now they're kind of holding hands and stuff. It's not for me, babe. It's not for me, babe. And then the fifth book that I read was, I'm gonna put it up here because it was an ebook, Wrapped by Them by Eva Ashwood. Ooh, that was a steamy book. That was so steamy. And I've read three males, one female before. Her other series, the Filthy Wicked Psycho series, but this one was a Christmas themed book. And it was Cade and his two best friends, Dex and Noah. And yeah, what's funny is that she's coming to this lodge that she works at to show the new boss where everything is, and the boss turns out to be the guy that she hooked up with a week ago. Dex is her ex-boyfriend's older brother, and Noah's just there. He's a little bit of a grump. I'll put my rating up somewhere so that you guys can see exactly what I thought about it, but all I have to say is that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do tend to read more unhinged, psychotic smut, but this is a cute kind of thing where it's just them snowed in and bam, you're stuck in a lodge with the guy that you hooked up with a week ago, your ex-boyfriend's older brother, and someone that literally owns your favorite restaurant in Denver. Also, the other cute thing was that they adopted a cat. Oh my god. It was a little kitten that they found out in the snow, and they named her Mrs. Claus. What I really also liked about the book is that she's a plus size woman. Also, the whole time when she looks at them across the room, like, those are my men. Like, it just sounds so cringy. That is the end. It's just an end. Okay, if you liked this video, then thank you. I don't know if you did, so leave a comment and like the video so that I know that you did. And if you like me, subscribe and follow my socials down below. And yeah, I will see you next time, maybe with another wrap up. Maybe I could actually complete my December TBR. I need to read another arc, and I started one of the books that my mother chose for me for my December TBR. So bye.